Well, hello. It's been a long, long time. I know. Excuse my glasses. And yes, I walk around with my glasses looking like this. Let me reintroduce myself. Let me get out. Okay. Yeah, my double chin is talking to y'all. Excuse my skin. It is being very rebellious right now. My skin has always been rebellious. Basically, I'm going to reintroduce who I am. I am somebody who lives in Dallas, Texas. I am a mother of a soon-to-be 26-year-old. My goodness. I don't know who thought of that idea. Anywho, why I'm doing this video is because I think it might be needed for somebody who needs to hear it. My son will be 26. I never thought that I would have a son. I thought I would be married by the age of 47, before the age of 47, and kids and financially stable. That's how I had my life planned out until the Lord said, no, that's not how it's going to be. So, I have always wondered my whole life why I couldn't do a lot of stuff that everybody else could do. Everybody else wanted to go to house parties and stuff like that. I grew up in the 90s, so yes. Everybody went to house parties. That wasn't my thing. Everybody wanted to go to teenage clubs and clubs. That wasn't my thing. My thing was enjoying the people that I knew. Yes, I'm outside. So, with that being said, I wind up having my son out of rebellion, not to my mother, but to myself, my own convictions, because I have set boundaries when it comes to relationships and sex, and I always wanted to have sex, within the relationship. Well, I had a boyfriend who told me for 2 weeks we didn't talk, we didn't do none of that. For 2 weeks, he had my house number, he had my cell phone number, plus he knew where I lived and where we went to school. And all of a sudden he told me, he said, well, I think we need to break up, but I don't want you to see other men. You can have male friends, but just don't sleep with them. I looked, I said, you don't have that privilege anymore. That after you said we need to break up, okay, you don't have that privilege, right, nor authority to say I need to not have sex with somebody else. So, me being who I am, I decided to sleep with a friend. Well, that was the first and last time I slept casually with a friend. And needless to say, that's how my son came to be. No, I wasn't in a relationship. I wasn't in love with him. Yeah, it was a lot that went on in that pregnancy, the beginning part of that pregnancy, that I'll get into at a later date, just not today. And yeah, so ever since then, I knew then I could not do what everybody else do. Everybody else can have casual sex partners, detach their feelings from sex and the person that they having sex with. I couldn't do that. And so while I was having a conversation last night, I was told that if you wanted to, just sleep around or be with somebody casually, you have to be mentally prepared. And I said, well, that's not me. I'm not going to ever be mentally prepared for that, because once I have sex with somebody, I'm attached. I was attached to my son's dad. I'm not going to even lie. We weren't even in a relationship, but I was attached to him. And so I didn't realize how soul ties work at that time. I did later, but I didn't realize and I didn't understand how soul ties work. And so for me, yes, I just don't feel right having sex outside of a relationship. So that's why I go months and years without having a relationship or having sex. No matter how much I might want to, that's not for me. So, to be honest with you, being who I am, I learned at a very young age to set boundaries for myself. And the convictions that I have allowed me to honor my own boundaries. And sometimes it seems like those boundaries get in the way, but no, they don't. They don't get in the way. It's just that a lot of people just don't respect people and their boundaries, don't respect people and how they feel. They feel like that as long as they have you, you don't have to have no boundaries. Well, I'm here to tell you, yes, you do. Because some things you may not want to do, some things you may not want to say or see or be around, and you have to have those boundaries. It's a protection. So, who I am a professional customer service. So when I say professional, I've been in customer service my whole working life, and I've been working since I was at 17, but I've been volunteering in different capacities, like at high school, junior high, and church, since before then. Since before I was a teenager. And with that being said, I wound up being in customer service. My first job was working at Chuck E. Cheese. So I was a hostess. And I made good money. Not from my hourly wages, because I only made $4.35. Yes, 1996, 1997, $4.35. But I always came home with a check every 2 weeks, like $500 to $600 every 2 weeks after taxes. That's how much I worked. Plus, I was getting tips for the birthday parties that I did. Because, being a servant, a lot of people have a negative connotation when it comes to that, and it's not. You have to have a heart of a servant. And being of service or being in service for anybody or doing any type of service, whether it's hair, nails, skin, serving them at the grocery store or even at restaurants, whatever. When you are serving somebody, customer service, you have to have a heart for that. A lot of people say, well, if you're working in fast food, you shouldn't know. You still need to have that customer service heart. You need to have that servant's heart. And if you don't have that, you shouldn't be in that capacity. That's even over the phone. Showing empathy, sympathy, and compassion towards other people. If you want it to be shown to you, you should show it to others. And so, with that being said, I'm going to cut this short. I'm not going to make it long because, I have a lot of topics to talk about. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm reintroducing myself to you. I may not have that many viewers or subscribers. I'm not worried about that. As long as it helps somebody to understand that you being of service, it may not look like a lot, but you just don't know how much of an impact you can be on somebody's life. I used to work at Dollar Tree last year, and I was an assistant manager. And working at Dollar Tree, you gotta have that firm, stern, and understanding of what it is to work with people, and you have a lot of vulnerability when it comes to your security and safety. So for me, I built a lot of relationships with customers, knowing who they are, talking to them and everything like that. So that's what I did. And to this day, if they see me on the street just out and about, they still speak and they still give me a hug. The kids still come up to me, hey, how you doing? And everything. And it could be a language barrier, but you couldn't tell. So yeah, again, being of service. Yeah. Being of service, you have that first impression to give to people. And once they have that impression of you, and if it could either be good or it can either be bad, I try to make sure that I treat people how I want to be treated. So yeah, being of service, it is a blessing. Sometimes it seems like a curse, but it's not. But being of service to people, it is rewarding. And I'll go into that in full detail at a later date, just not today. But again, I just had a birthday and I turned 47, so I think I look like my mother more and more as I gotten older, which is a good thing. She's no longer here, but I still see her every day in the mirror. So yeah, I am signing off from Dallas, Texas. I hope y'all have a blessed night, and know that being of service, yeah, if you don't have the heart, don't get in that field. Don't do it, because it does lead you to a lot of opportunities, and they can be some good ones, and they can be some not so good ones. They can be some very challenging ones. But the point of it is, being of service, it's not a bad thing. Y'all be safe.